Hello and welcome to this sketchbook tour. Today we're going through this Sea White of Brighton sketchbook all media acid-free paper A4 and 140 GSM. I started this sketchbook in May of 2024 and I finished this sketchbook in January 2025. On the first page we have a collage I made for my art class and I think it looks funny. It's fine, it's not special, but I liked that I cut out the legs of the woman and replaced them on the side so you can look through it and see the picture behind it. On the right, we have some artists I still have to look up and a small sketch of my dog. On this page, we have one of the Labrador dogs I sketched in a Sketch With Me video, where it is a Sketch With Me session with only Labrador dogs. And on the right, we have two photos of an art school assignment where we had to work with a lot of dark colors and a little bit of light. And I think they look quite nice. This also on the other page, only with a different composition. Then we have here some faces done in 5 minutes, so two quick sketches. Then we have here some aquarels. I did those two plein air, so outside. And first I did the little sketches on top, and then I did the aquarel paintings. Sketches. Some more sketches outside, also during an art class about outside painting. And on the right we have a mussel, a shell, and some quick composition sketches and the final sketch. This flower is also an art assignment. Don't know what to think about that one, but I did it. And on the right, also an assignment for school, a composition sketch of my dog. And I made a painting out of this one. This is probably also a quick sketch, done in I think 5 minutes or maybe 10, of a spray bottle. And on the right, a horse, a bird, and a little landscape sketch. Some more quick sketches. I really like this. I like the design on the little things. On the right, also some photos I edited in Procreate and made some weird composition things out of it. It's a bit abstract, but I think I quite like them. And here you see a lot of IDs. All of them are made. I've made paintings out of these. So a flower, vase with flowers, some fox, glove, flowers, my dog sitting, and some swans. And I really like the thumbnail sketches, value sketches. And with them I have a lot of information about things I need to think about while painting. This is another sketch with me, Labrador, and on the right some other ideas and thumbnail sketches. I'm currently still working on the last one, and the top two I have finished. This is also for my composition and expression class, another collage, and this is part of a litho I made and a drawing I did for perspective, and I combined the two of them. Some schabloon, a cutout, and a painting of trees. Another dog, Labrador, from the sketch with me. And on the bottom here you see the idea of a painting I did. It was a commission, and you see me here looking at the size I want to use, how big I want to make it. This is another for my composition and expression class, a photo collage I edited in Procreate. I think it looks weird, but it's weird, yes. On the right, it's supposed to be like some kind of mouse, I think. I saw a photo of it at the exposition somewhere, and I partly drew it. This are some hands with the ocean, and someday I really like to make a painting out of this one. I had this idea quite a few years ago, and maybe someday I will paint it. Who knows? I still think it looks really cool. And on the right, some scenes from The Little Mermaid, and then me drawing some part of those scenes. Another tree thingy from my composition and expression class. A bit different than the last one, but still looks quite nice and cool. And on the right again, some scenes from The Little Mermaid, and I drew them. And this time I used a bit of hatching, and I quite like them. I like the flow of them. Here you see an old idea I had from two witches being a skeleton, and I think they look quite cool, but that was quite a long time ago. On the right, something from The Little Mermaid and different letters of the A from Ariel. And I really like the one at the bottom with the heart by it. Another old sketch I did, and then I put some things with it to make it a little bit cooler than only the flower. and a sketch from Raya the Dragon. Really like that one. Like, I quite enjoyed the movie. I think I have to watch it again. Yes. And then here on the right are mugs from this mug art challenge. And the first few I covered with pen, and the rest are still in pencil because I never finished them. And I quite like these. Some are really cool. Another dog from a Sketch With Me video. And on the right, some animals lying down in the sun. A vase I did. It was supposed to be for a woodcut, but I never finished the sketch. I made another woodcut. And on the right, some Still Here, Still Alive reference sketches with paint. Quite like them. Another fish from The Little Mermaid I redrew, and some sketch background, and I put something over it and don't know what I was thinking here. And a sketch. A Labrador sketch again. Some ideas for cover of a sketchbook I never did, but I still quite like the idea of the tacos. And I quite like the sketch. Some geese. One with the white background and black lines, and one black background and white lines. Quite like the effect of it. Some more Labrador sketches. And another sketchbook cover ID I never did of some flowers. And here on the right, Iron Man. Never finished this sketch, but things looks quite cool. Some more Labrador sketches. Quite like these two. I think they look quite pretty. Another sketchbook idea of a flower I never did. And on the right, some Still Here, Still No. Still Here, Still Alive reference sketches of sushi. And I really like these sketches. I think they look quite fun. Some weird painting thing I did, and we do not have to talk about it. And on the right, we see a dog from a Labrador from the Sketch With Me session. Another idea for a sketchbook with storks in it, but I also never did this one. Some woodcut ideas I never did. Some sketch from the new Master Academy with the face, an Art Nouveau circle moon with flowers in it. This was done a live sketch at a museum, and on the lower bottom a color study of a gun. Some more sketch with me session paintings from painting boats, and I quite like these sketches. Another from a sketch with me session with a duck, and another from a boat. These are from those new Master Academy session with Amanda, and I drew all the faces. Another boat, and on the right some people standing and sitting in typical old Dutch clothes. Very old. Another duck sketch and some figure drawing, quick studies. The proportions of the head from the side and from the front. And on the right, woodcut I did of this bird. Some more model session sketchings, some idea of a lithography I did of leaves, and another idea I never did based on Percy Jackson. Some more live studies of someone sitting on a couch, and on the right we have here my dog sleeping, and then some sketches of statues from a statue book I have at home. Another model drawing session, and on the right is a color study of a portrait I did, but I never finished the portrait, but I do really like the color study, so I put it in my sketchbook. A photo, and on the right you see the sketch, the live sketch I did, and later I made a painting out of this. Quite like that painting. And here on the right in the top you see a quick sketch of a head done by one of my teachers at school. This is a whole page of studies. I made some composition study, some value study in paint, and then the big sketch and a little study of a pearl. And I made a painting, and I quite like the painting. And on the right you see a model sitting, and it's the same model you see on the left in the photo. Quite like it. Some live plant drawings I did outside. Quite like them. This is the leaves I did a lithography of, and this is the pencil sketch I used. Later in the sketchbook you see the finished result of this one. On the right you see some live sketches of cows, but they moved quite a lot, so not one of them is finished. I don't think they look very pretty, but they're quick sketches. Some more things that I used for the leaf lithography I did, and this is my mom ironing, some thumbnail sketches, more cows from drawing cows live, and a bouquet of flowers. Some master studies of Edward Voulard, if I pronounce it right, and these are some of his paintings, and I did some composition studies with it. I quite like his paintings. And then again, the bird I used for my woodcut. And on the right, my dog, my mom, and an ID of some feathers, a sketch, a thumbnail sketch, some model sketches from a model class. So these were done live. I quite like these two. From the top one, I made a painting I also quite like. On the right, you see here some ID sketches I did, but I never made something out of it. But I quite like the process. And on this page, you see some skulls from animals. I think this one is from a horse. It's a value study, and I don't know what animal it is here on the right with the flowers with it. This page on the top, some quick sketches of a study I did live, and these are some statues I drew and I quite like them, especially the one on the right with the wings. I don't think the statue had the wings on it, but I put the wings from another statue on this statue, and I quite like that it's green and the wings are red. This is one of my favorite pages in the sketchbook, I think. It's a little plant in a vase, and on the right, a rabbit from a sketch with me session about rabbits, bunnies. And I quite like this bunny sketch, done in with Posca markers. This is also a page I quite like. It's done with watercolors, and it's my dog sleeping. And on the right you see the place she's sleeping at. A portrait study, a quick composition sketch I made. I don't think I made from this one up. No, I did not make a painting of this one. But I made a painting from the one on the right. It's also a metal study. It was quite a difficult study, but I quite like how I drew this person. Some new Master Academy sketches from a sketch session, and I really do like these sketches. Some more of these sketches and some scissors on the bottom. These are some skulls. I think I did a study with me session with these, but I don't remember for sure. Another model study at school, and on the right the finished result of the first few layers. It's supposed to get darker, but it's one of the first, and the ink is not fully put onto the stone yet, so it's a light one. But this is the lithography, at least the first one. I think later comes a darker one, and you can see they finished the end result better. On this page, some more studies from a model. These are all done live. And on the next page you see the lithographic one done on the stone, and it's quite similar to the finished pieces I did with it. I quite like it. Looks a bit abstract, but looks cool. And on the right this also looks quite abstract. I don't know what I was thinking here, but I think it's with watercolor and acrylic paint on top of one another. And then here on the last page we have an acrylic painting of a bird with a crown on top of its head. And I quite like this painting. It's done with a limited color palette, but I quite like it, yes. And this is the end of this sketchbook tour. Hope you got some inspiration out of it and will use it for your own art, or you just like watching this sketchbook tour. And I hope to see you at my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.